forward. We're getting off task.
No, hold on. No, I'm sorry.
We went off road.
I don't mind it. It was nice. The view was hilarious. The view was stupendous, man. But I would like to recap. Brandon is in the UK right now, and he has not been to BlerDCon. Me and Demo have been to BlerDCon, and we would like to not only ask you about the new experience, but also recap the best experiences and our opinions that happened with BlerDCon.
There's some amazing stuff here on this list, stuff that I've never thought I would see at a convention before.
Dude, barbershop experience?
I mean, I'm like, wow.
If I needed a cut
reaching the
that
people
day,
with
I
that.
would got one, bro.
Hey,
it was all experimental. And you know, it is a privilege in one hand, and it's really exciting in another hand that we are in this position of being able to break out and do new stuff, because you know, I'm not talking down on any other convention, but as we all know, that if you go to enough conventions, you start to see kind of like the same pattern in certain cons. It happens a lot with anime conventions, and I know it because I'll be coming from, like, there might be 3 or 4 big anime cons I go to a year, and then maybe another 4 or 5 smaller ones, but then I cannot remember where I had a conversation with somebody or where some significant thing happened. I'll be like, was it at this con or was it at that con? And they all kind of have the same basic components.
Yeah.
And they don't really have the imprimatur, if you want to use the $10 word for the day, to break out of that mold and try something new. But with the BlerDCon mission, trying to insert, you know, the Black cultural aspects into the convention experience, lets us shake things up. So, for instance, with the barbershop, you know, the crazy thing about the barbershop is that it had every reason in the world to fail.
What?
And you'll understand why. Yes, because one, Black men have a very one-on-one relationship with their barber.
Yeah.
Right?
I was wondering about that.
And you go to the barbershop and you see a line, and you get a line whether you got an appointment or not. You have an appointment to go sit in line. That's what your appointment's for, not to sit in a chair.
Right.
This is your time to come sit and wait for me. You waiting for Frankie. Frankie's been cutting your hair since high school, whatever. Frankie is the guy you trust. There's 5 other chairs there, and then there's a newbie on the end. And they always put the newbie's chair right in the front. Yep. And he's standing there looking, you know, he's like, hey, anybody want to do a cut? And he'll say, hey, if anybody's in a rush, y'all can get with Chauncey, because Chauncey will cut your hair. He'll hook you up. Chauncey, you know, everybody look at each other. We don't know Chauncey. We'll be like, nah, we good. We're waiting. You know.
Chauncey always picks up the phone at the barbershop, you know?
Yeah, he's doing other stuff. He's sweeping, you know, he's, you know, shooing the hustle man out the door, you know. So it's like, you know,
he works hard.
Were we setting it up so that everyone who's coming to the con, this is Chauncey, it's not their barber. So are you going to be at the con and trust somebody to do your hair if they've never cut your hair before? And so that was a risk. And you know, you have to ask yourself, do brothers at the cons who don't have no fade, right? You know, they this is, you know, it's all over the years and stuff. Do they even know that they need a haircut? Like, if I put a barber chair in front of them, are they gonna go, I'm fine, I like the Wayne Williams look, you know, I'm good. Right. You know, they might not even want to cut. You don't know. So you put this in front of people and you say, okay, it's so new, there's no precedent for it, there's no way to know how the community is going to react. And they jumped on it. Like, people really were excited that there was this barbershop, and they just ate it up. And the barbers were full, the line was kept moving, and all this stuff. Same thing with the food truck rally. You know, we had 14 food trucks in 2019. We're going to have more this year. And you know, think about all your cons that you've been to, right? And one of the hardest things to manage is food. If you're at a general convention center, you know, they got the convention center food, but 9 times out of 10, it's a $15 hot dog. And, you know, it's not the best food for the money.
No.
Or if there is some good food, it's like so many people trying to get to that one stand that is selling good food that it takes forever to get food, yada, yada, yada. So Food Truck Rally was just through the roof, and we curated it very carefully. You know, we wanted to make sure that we did not have any duplication.
Yeah.
So there wouldn't be 5 pizza trucks. It'd be like 1 pizza truck, 1 vegan truck, 1 Jamaican truck, 1
that barbecue truck. That barbecue truck was on point.
Me and D we were standing at the sliders truck, right? The truck that was selling the sliders.
Yeah, DC sliders.
Dude was like, yo, like, what y'all doing? Barbecue about to open back up. I was like, where? He was like, yeah, man, I spent like $12 and had like two servings of food. Like, we gotta go to the barbecue truck.
Oh, so yeah, it was like watching people. It was like watching people run. It was like you're running.
Why he was standing in the line like he was going to get sliders, but he was watching to see when the barbecue truck opened back up. And then he made us come with him, and I mean, we weren't, disappointed at all. But gee, I was like, yo,
listen,
what cut y'all got?
Listen, it's so good. I remember when he first pulled up, man. The first time we booked him, he had this little portable tub full of cans and cans and cans of Colt 45. And I was like, this brother's selling malt liquor at the barbecue truck. I said, if ain't nothing more black barbecue than a tub full of Colt 45. And I asked him about it, and he said, no, this is for my barbecue sauce. Yeah. I was sold. I said, if you're using malt liquor to make your barbecue sauce,
that's why. No?
That's
I don't need to see nothing else.
After a while, me and we were in a food bliss in that joint, eating the food, and I swear he had a screen door on his truck. It was like a screen.
A screen door
on that joint.
It's crazy. It was crazy, and so it's stuff like that we're able to do, because at the end of the day, and the reactions that you guys are all having, they come with a certain amount of emotion. Like when people recall their BlerDCon experience, I want to see people tapping into an emotion, because that's how memories are made.
Yep.
You take a moment in time and you attach an emotion to it, and you'll never forget it. This was 2 years ago. This brother remembers what a person was saying in a line. This isn't a panel. This isn't when he met Rachel True. Right. This is a conversation he had in relationship to food, because I'm telling you what happened in that food truck rally. You bit into a rib or a slider sandwich or a vegan wrap or whatever it was, and you was like, oh, this was really good, right?
Yeah.
And then you looked and you saw somebody who said something to you. You said something in a little conversation, and then the DJ played a song. And all of that came together and cemented that moment in your spiritual memory, and you will go to your grave remembering those times. Absolutely. Because you've attached these emotional flagpoles to that moment. And I think beautiful. As a con runner, it's our responsibility to try and create as many spaces for those moments to happen. You meet somebody, or you run across somebody, you have a conversation, or you're eating some food, or you're enjoying some fellowship or a discussion, or kicking somebody's butt in a video game, or whatever it is. That moment happens, and when you leave BlerDCon, those moments go with you.
Yeah,
and then you unpack those moments when you go and talk to your friend who didn't go, but you was trying to get him to go. Yeah. Oh, you didn't go to BlerDCon. Oh, all right, look here, man. And see, then I bit the rib, and then the dude had this Colt 45, and then Frankie Beverly and Maze came on. Remember that? Is that right? Was it Frankie Beverly, or was it? Yep. And then was Frankie Beverly. Man, you missed it all. And then I got my hair cut, and I still have barbecue in my fingers. So when I counted the money, there was a barbecue stain on the $20 bill, but he didn't mind because we was talking about Naruto, and he just started regurgitating all these moments back to back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
Because when you go somewhere and you have a different experience or a non-emotional experience, time just blows by and it don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
And you've seen that in the COVID era. Most of us can't even keep track of the weeks. Like, what is it, Friday again?
Man, I'm telling
where did Friday come from? You don't remember when it was Tuesday just here?
Weekends have no meaning.
The days don't have any meaning because we're not interacting. We're not connected to the time that we mark. We're working from home. We're not doing the commute. We're not listening to our music in the commute. We're not drinking our coffee and eating our biscuit while we're trying to drive with our knee on 95, trying not to cause an accident.
Your rituals just went out the window.
You guys have no idea how much I miss going to work. Like the getting ready, getting dressed, you know what I'm saying? Getting in the car, listening to my music. I miss that a lot.
Yeah. Podcasts for me, podcasts have gone out the window now.
Yeah. I mean, but one of the things that also really sticks out in my mind about BlerDCon, I guess it would be, I don't want to say I don't see this at the other conventions, but there was like a real genuine sense of community, you know, general fellowship, you know, like, and most of all respect for everybody. Like everybody was respectful. Like folks who were cosplaying, other dudes walking up and would it be okay if I could take a picture of you? You know, the conversations that people were having with each other, they were just very uplifting. You know, there wasn't anybody trying to, I guess not in a mean way, trying to roast anybody or anything like that. Yeah. And I just enjoyed that kind of, it felt familiar. You know, like I've been to a lot of times.
I think that's the word. I think
like
familiar
a family
is the word.
Reunion out there.
It very much is. I mean, we are connected virtually and through social media and stuff like that in a normal year, right? Mm-hmm. Cons are where we come together. And what I hope that BlerDCon is able to encourage and take part in is not just what happens at BlerDCon, because the community existed before BlerDCon. Right. We are doing our part to galvanize the community, grow the community, interconnect the community, but it was there before we got here. And what I'm hoping that people will do is that the Blerd community will exist both in BlerDCon and outside of BlerDCon. I want to go to the next non-Blerd convention and see more Black Nerd photo shoots or Black Nerd gatherings. You know, I'm seeing that at other conventions. I'll go to DragonCon and Otakon and AwesomeCon and KatsuCon and MagFest and all these area conventions, and there's always 2 or 3 Black Nerd gatherings. Even if they don't have the Black Nerd in the language, you know, this is where we are going to be.
Yep.
And even if it's only for 20 minutes and we do some pictures or whatever, we gather and we kind of acknowledge one another. And then we do, just by nature of the way the con is set up, we have to dissipate. But what happens is that we start connecting and we start seeking each other out. Like, you ever notice when you go to a convention where, you know, again, it's not a Blerd convention, it's just a regular convention, and you start looking around for us. You know, are we gathering? And we're fist bumping figuratively and literally, you know, when we're out of town and when we're, you know, people are on the site and on social media. This is my first time in DC. This is my first time at BlerDCon. I'm coming by myself. You know, who's going to be there? Shout out. What are you going to be cosplaying? And then when they come, you know, they don't feel alone. You know, you feel like you are reconnecting. It is a reunion. And that vibe is kind of what we try to manufacture and generate and perpetuate for the 360 days per year that are not BlerDCon.
Yeah.
Hey guys, check out Co-Play Media on Spotify and DC Radio 96.3 HD4 on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. for all your anime talk, video games, and everything important to the Black Nerd community.
And don't forget to check out our website and our YouTube channel for the special guest interviews with some of your favorite anime voice actors in anime.
Get you some real talk, get you some information to the streets.
Okay, no crazy feedback.
No craziness.